Virgo, hello. Welcome to Coffee Sage and Tarot. This is going to be your monthly reading for May 2025. Alrighty, we're going to see what pops up. Have a little bit more loose guidelines here for Spirit to come in and give you the message that you truly need heading into May. Okay, so let's go ahead. I didn't get into this for Virgo, please. Can you show me Virgo for the month of May 2025. Show me that Virgo energy, please. For the month of May 2025. Last time. Show me Virgo, please. Thank you. Show me Virgo and what they have in store for May. Show me Virgo, please. Show me Virgo, please. Alrighty, last time, show me Virgo, please. Alright, thank you. Alright, starting with the card, the indicator card here. 5 of Pentacles. Alrighty. Yeah, and this doesn't feel like a surprise, Virgo, especially for the Virgo that I read for here. It feels like there's kind of been a struggle with how to show up kind of in your life in some aspect or another, and kind of lingering thoughts on letting go of something. So this 5 of Pentacles, the act of letting go or walking away from something, either way, kind of a difficult time. That's not all too surprising. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Wands here, and this kind of does feel like, the time is now for you to take some action here and make some moves. Already, the Two of Swords showing up, a little bit of indecision, not really sure which way we're going, not really sure what to do here, and as these, I believe, showed up kind of similar way, feels like you're kind of showing up and you're saying, okay, like, listen, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know. You're kind of on the fence here. And the wheel is kind of showing up and saying, hey, well, I get that you don't understand, but it's time to do something, right? It's time to direct that night, that passion, that energy, that drives somewhere. Okay. We have the Queen of Wands showing up, the Three of Cups, the Knight of Cups. So here, and interesting, right? So we have that knight and then that knight. This feels like gifting yourself, kind of giving yourself a little bit of a break here, emotionally, right? Like not being too hard on yourself, knowing that you need a little bit of light, a little bit of fun, a little bit of enjoyment here. And that's kind of what this is showing up as. So whatever this 5 of Pentacles is, it's feeling like, let's not get too bogged down in that. Let's do what we need to do to kind of keep life fun, keep you engaged, keep you showing up, and making the necessary moves forward here. Queen of Wands and the Emperor. So definitely some fire energy on the board. And again, with that Wheel of Fortune showing up with that Knight of Wands beside it, it does feel like, Spirit is really trying to say, let's take control here. Let's make some action. Let's be a little bit more decisive, perhaps, than what this Two of Swords is kind of, your energy is kind of saying you want to be. Right? Queen of Wands, she's the mover, the shaker, the doer here. She gets things done. The Emperor, he is in charge. He is in control. What he says goes. He has, unobstructed rule. I don't know why that's so hard to say today. He has unobstructed rule over his domain. And so it feels like the point of him showing up is that it is time for you to take control of something here. Okay. Let's see if we can get some clarifiers here for Virgo, please. you are. All right. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, that Knight of Wands. So there's a lot happening here. Okay. I flipped the Queen because it felt like that was just kind of this doubling down on doing what needs to be done. Okay. This Knight of Wands showing up in reverse. Again, I feel like it's just, you know, Spirit kind of sending you that message. Let's double down and get things done here. Look at these aces popping up. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups here, and it's interesting how the Ace of Cups is paired with the King of Cups, whereas that Ace of Pentacles is paired with the Fool. So it does feel like you're walking away from something, or you have to let something go in order to embrace some new opportunity in your physical landscape. And then that Ace of Cup opportunity, that emotional connection, whatever this kind of component is, knowing that you need to have some fun here, that is going to lead you towards the success, right? They could have easily showed up this way, but they're showing up this way for a reason. And I think that is to do with giving yourself this opportunity here to connect emotionally in some way, shape, or form here. And that is going to get you on the path where you want to go to be the master of your suit, right? The Three of Swords showing up here. Yeah, whatever this Five of Pentacles is, walking away is quite difficult, right? Seven of Swords here. And perhaps, you know, that's why you kind of showed up in the reverse, because you're not engaging in the way that Spirit would like to see, right? You're kind of, maybe your energy is directed all over the place, or you're not directing your energy at all, right? Maybe you're kind of lashing out at people that are trying to help you, or you're not seeing, you know, some aspect about your energy that seems off, right? And so you're kind of lying to yourself, right? That Seven of Swords is deceit. And, you know, it could be, you know, somebody is trying to deceive you right in front of your eyes. But when I read that Seven of Swords, you're more often than not, we know when somebody isn't being honest, and ultimately that's on us, right? That's on ourselves here to understand. And are we going to accept that behavior, or are we going to not tolerate that, right? And so it feels like there's some lack of accountability here, at least on your end, Virgo, that you're kind of letting some things slip through, and perhaps you have for quite some time. And this Five of Pentacles is showing up and saying, hey, you know, we know it's difficult, but you need to take some decisive action here and nip some of these things in the bud. Let's gain control, right? And exert that control. Let's be power dominant here and do what needs to be done, okay? The Fool, Ace of Pentacles, I don't think I touched on this. It's interesting because, you know, the Pentacles are the ones closest to the ground, right? You are Earth, so technically the most practical, right? The ones, Earth signs are not, you know, they keep their feet on the ground, okay? So it's nice to see this Fool. It's kind of opposites here with the Ace of Cups and the King of Pentacles. It takes a little bit of impracticality to get to where you're going, a little bit of dreaming, right, to get to where you are. The Ace of Pentacles is not in, you know, like being so grounded and practical all the time and doing kind of the logical next thing. There's a leap that they're saying needs to be taken, right? And that kind of does fall in line with that Five of Pentacles of let's move on. It's hard, we know this. And again, it feels like for the Virgo that I read, this is kind of a theme that we've been touching on for some time here. And, you know, the universe is again kind of saying, let's move on here. Let's take that leap. Show me a little bit more for Virgo, please. Show me more clarification for Virgo for the month of May. Oh, okay, all right. Got a lot coming through. Interesting. All right, let's try to unpack what we have here. So we have the Six of Pentacles showing up in the reverse here. Yeah, there's like a lack of balance here. And it seems perhaps you haven't been indulging or having fun, right, for some time. And so, you know, it's kind of like, let's examine here what you've been giving your attention to, your time, energy, effort. Have you been giving any of that to yourself? And if not, maybe let's start doing that, right? Something is off here in how you delegate your time, how you delegate your energy, and how you're maneuvering through your physical landscape here. So it's really like Spirit is asking you to explore that a little more deeply. Alrighty, immediately we had the Five of Wands in the reverse along with that Four of Pentacles here. Yeah, so it seems like, again, there's some conflict here and there's some type of dynamic that has turned a certain way, and it's no longer fun, it's no longer enjoyable, but yet you're giving to this dynamic, and it feels like Spirit is trying to make you question why. And it looks like with that Four of Pentacles sideways, it looks like you are examining, okay, does this still fit within my landscape? Is this still something that I should be holding on to, or is it something that I need to release, or is it something that I should double down on and really stick to, right? So that element, that component of that is here, and it's showing up kind of on this doubling down Queen of Wands side with that Seven of Swords. So it feels like this is something that is paining you, and something that you're really not taking action on, and Spirit is kind of coming in and saying, okay, why are you deceiving yourself? You understand the truth and the reality of whatever this situation is, whatever this dynamic is. It is quite challenging, it is quite difficult here, but something needs to be done, right? There's action that needs to be taken, and for whatever reason it looks like you haven't taken that action, which is why these decisive cards are coming through. We have Ten of Swords on its side with Two of Cups in the reverse. This feels like it explains this dynamic here. You're unwilling, at least currently, to put an end to it, but you're not opposed to that ending, at least currently, right? So whatever that indecision is here, it feels like it does have to do with this Five of Wands in the reverse dynamic. You don't want to change it. Two of Cups in the reverse here. Whatever this, again, dynamic is, it's no longer equal, right? It is no longer something that is giving back what you are putting into it, right? You're not giving what you're receiving, or you're not receiving what you're giving, right? The playing field is no longer equal here, and that is painful. Okay, coming into here with the Hanged Man and the Knight of Cups in reverse. This feels like, okay, you're sitting in indecision here, but the longer you sit there, the more you realize you're not happy, or you're not focusing on yourself in the way that you should be, okay? In a way that is beneficial. Like this Knight of Cup in the reverse here, he's initially showing up here kind of saying, hey, let's enjoy, let's fill your cup from the inside, right? Let's go out and be social with friends and get lost in that camaraderie, right? And here in the reverse with that Two of Swords, it's almost like the longer that you sit in that indecision or inability to make a choice, you're gaining some new perspective, and you're kind of realizing that where you're headed is not fulfilling, right? And there's a lack of connection between, I would strongly kind of say that there's a lack of connection between where you are and where you feel comfortable. Okay, Page of Cups showing up in the shadow here, along with that Four of Wands and the Five of Cups, and then you kind of sitting behind all that. With the Page of Cups here, it's like, what is he offering, right? A sour fish. It might look good on paper, but is it really something that, you want to continue to carry with you into your foundations? And it feels like whatever this is, perhaps might have tried to integrate into You know, your home here, or is integrated into your core foundation here. Either way, something smells fishy. Okay. It just feels like, you know, this isn't really offering you anything good. Five of Cups, you know, showing up behind that foundation here. Again, it's just this idea that you're being left lacking, okay? You're just left lacking here. All right, let's see here. What other messages do we have for Virgo for the month of May? What other messages for Virgo, please, for the month of May? Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So we have the Six of Wands popping up on this side of the board here, right? So we have the Six of Pentacles, Six of Swords. One is in the reverse and the other is right side up. So kind of this idea that we're moving from this, or that your energy wants to move. Perhaps you are, in fact, literally moving here. What else do we have? The Page of Cups on its side with the Devil kind of popping up as well there. And yeah, it just makes sense that this Page of Cups is bringing you down, right? Just them kind of showing up together here. It's just this energy and, you know, of things that really pain you, things that are really taking a toll on you here. Feels like you're stuck, right? Temperance showing up on its side, kind of, you know, a little bit cross the Emperor here. You know, yeah, you're stuck and it's hard and there's this challenge, right? You want to be fair and balanced, or at least diplomatic, Virgo, but you're finding it challenging to do so because your energy is kind of being sucked away and, you know, it's difficult to make a decision. Okay, we have the other six showing up. This one was off the board, okay, outside, but still showing up here. And it is interesting. It showed up next to that Emperor, okay, kind of like this here. Just kind of be on camera view. And this feels like you need to take action to be successful. And you need to take control of the situation to be successful and get to where you want to go, right? So the Six of Swords and the Six of Wands both reference travel, right? So that could be, like I said, something that's happening for you, Virgo. Also translates to movement, right? That mental kind of moving on, the passage of time, the passage of thoughts, moving into calmer waters here. And then with that Six of Wands, moving your energy, right? Directing your energy elsewhere here. And it feels like that is only happening after you take control with that Emperor energy. Okay. The Knight of Swords coming through, King of Wands and the Chariot. Yeah, it's like, okay, come on, Virgo. Let's take some action here. Let's take charge. Let's get this plane going. Let's get this train going here, right? Let's move. So it feels like, yeah, your energy really wants to move. Your energy really wants to kind of jump off here. And you're stuck, right? And this is hard. It's a hard time for you in terms of doing and confronting these energies, right? Any final thoughts here for Virgo for May? Any final thoughts for Virgo, please? Any final thoughts? Thank you. Alrighty. So much wand energy happening here. So I really just want to call attention to that. Because it is important. It feels like you are being, you know, told like, where's the passion? Where's the energy? Like, let's get that going. So the Six of Swords leading into that Nine of Cups, it's like leading into personal achievement here. And again, emphasis on cup energy. So kind of this idea of going back to this Ace of Cups here, let's give this emotional, let's get into your cup here and give that a look. Let's dive deeper into that. Let's reconnect with Virgo and find that sense of personal success, personal achievement, personal contentment, right? And that is where you will shine and, become the master of your suit, obtain that King of Pentacles energy, right? We have the Five of Swords and the Page of Wands, and they're not really looking at each other, right? So it's almost kind of like, let's leave this battle behind. Let's move on. And again, the 5 coming up. So I'm wondering, do we have all the 5s on the board? No, we don't. But this 5 coming up again, emphasizing conflict here and more that mental anguish that we put ourselves through when we're not feeling in a good place, right? And so with that Page of Wands kind of coming up opposing that, it's kind of saying, okay, like, let's move on from this. Yes, these energies are here and it's not a good feeling, but we need to direct our energy elsewhere. Let's look forward. Let's look to our future. Where do we go from here, right? And that's where it feels like Spirit is saying you should direct your energy, right, to the future, looking forward. 8 of Pentacles here, Knight of Swords. So you are kind of showing up here with that 8 of Pentacles. And I'm wondering if it should not be like this. No, it should be like this. It feels like either thoughts are trying to come and shake you in a bad way or in a good way. And what I mean by that is, going back to this 2 of Swords here and this kind of indecision, it's almost like, your energy, that one energy knows that something needs to happen, something needs to move here. You got to get some things going, right? And it's almost like you're too focused. You can't see the bigger picture here. And so this Knight of Swords is ushering in to kind of say, hey, let's look up and see what's happening and see what's going on around you and see where you actually have landed and perhaps have been for some time, and let's figure out how to move forward. It's almost like you're in a ditch, right? And so your energy is like, okay, we got to move. We got to move. We got to make something happen here. And you're like, I don't really know. I'm stuck in this ditch. I don't like it, but I really don't see a way out. And this Knight is coming in and saying, well, if you look up, you'll see that the hill is really not, that steep. And yeah, your ankle might have hurt when you fell into the ditch, but if you kind of hobble along, it's really not that bad. And you're kind of like, I don't know. I can't see. I'm focusing on my ankle kind of deal, right? And so that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. Death showing up. And look at that, King of Cups as well, eh? In the shadow along with the King of Wands. Yeah, some change and transformation, right? And these kings want to come up. Kind of owning your emotions, owning that emotional intelligence, right? Owning that action, that decisive action, knowing what needs to be done and actually doing it, right? So these are kind of themes here. Again, Virgo, that I feel are not uncommon for you. And kind of, they have been, coming up more or less throughout the better part of this year. And it feels like we're kind of getting to that point where it's okay, you need to do something. We need to manifest. We need to make these things happen here. Let's change our energy. Let's get involved. Okay. Let's see any information. Oh, that's too many. Do we have a message for Virgo for me, please? What is the message for Virgo, please? 39, return to center. Let's see. Chaotic events do not benefit from panicked reactions. The situation may not need a response from you. Stay calm and centered in your heart. In our daily home or work situations, we sometimes lose perspective, our grasp on the bigger picture. We become so set in our routines and expectations that any disruption can be viewed as a major setback rather than an opportunity to set right. This outlook is stuck in the muck and needlessly stressful. It lacks context. Pause, take a step back, breathe, and regroup. There's more here than meets the eye. When everything appears to be going wrong, make it a habit to check in with your own internal state. Is it maintaining an objective perspective? This card urges you to find objectivity and inner calm before deciding on an action, any action. Wisdom resides in the balance, not in the extremes. If you're feeling overly emotional or mentally detached, reactivity is likely around the corner. Find your center, then proceed accordingly. Are you panicking when there's no immediate danger? Are you taking responsibility for a matter that isn't yours to manage? Is it possible that the current issue confronting you is actually a trivial one that will blow over and be forgotten in the long run? Perhaps someone else is in a better position to act. Should they be given the chance to rise to the occasion? Pause, take a step back, breathe. Give space for the bigger picture to develop and watch from a calm inner space before you leap. That's really quite beautiful, Virgo. And, I feel like pretty on point in terms of this energy here. I find that you do take on a lot. And certain battles are yours to carry for sure, and certain aren't. And this card is asking you to explore that. And I feel like that really is on point for you, okay? I really wish you all the best through this month and always. I really appreciate you taking the time to come by and gain some insight, especially heading into May, just as I hope that you appreciate these readings, okay? Thank you so much for stopping by. I wish you all the best today and always, and we'll see you next time. You take care, Virgo.